speech-language pathology. Sick of bears.
You'd never believe how crazy it is that I'm standing up here in front of all of you. For most of my life, I have struggled with fear and anxiety, and it manifested itself in my life as fear of failure and shyness. For as long as I can remember, I have been a shy person, lacking the confidence and courage to do anything. It was truly debilitating. I always felt like I was standing in the shadows of everyone else's lives. But I always knew that if I could risk stepping out of my comfort zone, I could do great things and really step into the person I was meant to be. I've gone to church since I was little, and once my mom married my stepdad, we found our home here at Second Baptist Cypress. And in 2014, when I was just 7 years old, I surrendered my life to Christ and got baptized. Even though I was young, I knew exactly what it meant to seek a relationship with Christ. I've always enjoyed going to worship with my family, but Bible study, Wednesday nights, and even Jump, which is our kids' ministry worship service, those are places I would rather not be. I never had many friends at church because everyone already had their friends and I was too scared to talk to people. It was this inescapable cycle because I feared putting myself out there, but I really didn't want to be alone. I remember in elementary, sitting by myself in Jump, holding my Bible, feeling overwhelmed, alone, and just so small in that huge room of kids. If I got really lucky, one of the Jump team members would sit next to me and even talk to me. I really wanted to be on the Jump team someday when I was in high school. However, those feelings of shyness and anxiety didn't just disappear. In middle school, I missed the opportunity to try out for the Giggle team, which is like Jump but for preschoolers. The unknown was just too scary. Would I make any friends? Would the other kids like me? Would they want to talk to me? Or would I just be in the way of their lives? That was enough to let those 3 years pass by. Then, starting high school, I could finally try out to be on the Jump team. But everyone who was doing it had been on the Giggle team, and I'd be an outsider. So I didn't. Then sophomore year, the same thing. I'd be a whole year behind everyone else with no friends. Are you detecting a pattern here? The same excuses over and over and over, and the opportunities were passing by, and I just sat there and watched. The devil was whispering these lies into my ear about how incompetent I was, how I was a failure, and I listened to them. I honestly didn't even know who I was. I lacked purpose because every time I listened to one of the enemy's lies, I was ignoring who God said I was. It felt like God had been knocking at the door, wanting to present me with something wonderful, asking, just as he did in Isaiah 6:8, "Who shall I send, and who will go for us?" But I was refusing to answer, ignoring the challenge, avoiding the discomfort, dreading the outcome. But God wanted my full surrender. Every fear, every expectation, every part of me. And then I discovered there was wonder-working power in saying, "Here I am, send me." One day in Bible study, the summer before junior year, a sign-up sheet for the Jump team was passed around. I knew I had to do it. The Lord was literally placing the opportunity right in front of me, in my hands. He was opening a door, and I had to step through in faith. Whether or not I knew what the outcome would be, and whether or not I would make friends. I had to surrender my lack of control over the unknown and cast my anxiety on him. So I did, and it was one of the best decisions I have ever made. I made the team, and I started learning the dances, hoping to do them with the most enthusiasm. I was intentionally building relationships with the elementary kids because I wanted to give God all the glory, because that's how he'd gotten my attention when I was a kid in Jump. And I made so many friends who genuinely care about me and love the Lord just as much as I do. I stepped out of my comfort zone and chose obedience, and God took my fear and anxiety and crushed it in the palm of his hand. I was having a blast being involved at church. So this past summer, I wanted to do even more. I volunteered to be a leader at J-High Beach Retreat. Then I joined our high school leadership team. Then I was asked back to be a leader at 6th grade camp, and now I'm one of the captains of the Jump team. That seemingly small decision to join the jump team had a huge impact on my life. As I go off to college, I am so excited to find a church home where I can continue honoring the Lord through serving in kids ministry. I don't know what fears or doubts you're holding on to, but I do know this. God's calling is never about whether you feel ready. It's about trusting that He is. If He can take my fear and turn it into boldness, He can do the same for you. So what's the step God's asking you to take? Is there an opportunity right in front of you today that God is asking you to walk in obedience towards? Or a chance to use your talents for His glory? Or maybe He's asking you to humble yourself and serve His people. The Lord can use anything. Just sit back and watch Him. There is no better time than now to respond with, "Here I am, send me."